So part 3 of the live session with the Acer Aspire 1522, and in this session we're going to do a little bit more video demo. We're going to look at the webcams, a couple of synthetic tests, so Crystalmark, maybe 3D Mark. We can run that quickly as well. We will also be answering some questions from the chat room, and I'm just looking through my list. I think we also have we have games testing for maybe afterwards, and I'm not sure that will be recorded because we're going to have to do some installs maybe. Depends on time. We're 1 hour 15 minutes into the live session. We've got 45 minutes left, and so far battery life has been really good. We're looking at 15% per hour, which puts it well up in the 6-hour range in this testing environment here. Wi-Fi on screen at about 50%, and we're also doing some pretty heavy testing as well at the same time, so it's a good test of battery life. But let's do the rest of the video testing first. I want to show you that out of the box it will support Windows Media Video HD, DivX and Xvid and H.264. So let's just switch that video now and zoom in on that so that you can see what's going on. So this is a live session. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's been recorded at low resolution. So yes, the quality does suffer. So you won't exactly get the 720p video experience from this live recording. So I got a bunch of files that I usually test with, and let's just do that H.264 1080p again, 13 megabit per second bitrate, playing off the local disk. Really no problems at all. Very smooth, and that works to HDMI out as well. I'm just going to just move one of those lamps if I'm going to turn that one off. Yeah, there was some more demos of 1080p in part 2 of the session. But let's go back now, and I'll show you something that came straight from a Nokia N8 720p. I think it's around 5 megabit per second, but clearly it's supporting that straight out of the box. Sorry, just checking the speaker volume there. In fact, I will mic up the speaker. I've got a mic here that I can just maybe bring in. Can you hear that, guys? I'm not sure if that's feeding through. Maybe not. Should be. 222. Let's see if you can hear that. So you can hear it's pretty tinny, right? But that was a live recording, so probably not the best mic up test. There it is. Right, a couple more video formats then. This is DivX. Actually, yeah, I think this is actually DivX. 4 megabits per second. And no problem there with the audio. No problem there with the video. So, for those of you that haven't used Windows 7, it's what for me was one of the nicer things is that they put MPEG 4 decoders in that support H.264 as well. So that was much better than on XP, where the only thing you really had was MPEG 2 and Windows Media Video. Speaking of which, Windows Media Video HD, this is a 720p at about 6 megabits per second, and that's working smoothly. Early netbooks used to struggle with this one. The later Pine Trail N450 based devices can handle it alright. Although you'll get a lot of CPU usage. I just want to flick to the CPU right now. That is running at 25% CPU, 22%, 21%, nothing. It's all happening in hardware. This is exactly how it should be. Nice and efficient. Let's go to MPEG 2. I'm not sure if it's... This one doesn't work. This is an MPEG 2 taken straight from a DVB-T stream. It doesn't actually work. I only get the audio out of this one. So interesting. Maybe MPEG 2 is not fully supported. This is a 720p, 8 megabits per second Windows Media video file again. Starting up really nice and quickly, and just working perfectly there. So I want to see if I've got an Xvid for you. But if it's supporting DivX, you know, the chances are no problem with Xvid. Maybe I don't have an Xvid file. Let's see if I can get the details.
Ask your questions. You like playing football? I love playing football. For a special breed of men called leatherheads, the rules were simple. You hit any...
No, that's working. And then finally, got one more. HD 720p ripped from YouTube. Just perfect. So I think I have one that's probably not working, and that's an MKV. Let's see if I can find it. MKV wrapper with an H.264 inside. Doesn't even show on the media player, so obviously it doesn't recognize the MKV. But I'm just going to start the video file. Is everything still working okay on the video stream? Yeah. So let me just go to videos. Currypad tests. I want to find. So this is an MKV. Is it going to work? No. Not even recognized. I wonder if no. So you're going to need to install third-party software to get the MKV experience working. And that's pretty much it. So working pretty nicely for videos there. One thing I forgot to do before I started tonight, and that is to download Google Earth. Just going to do that in the background now. Google Earth downloads, because that's one thing that will get benefit from the 3D here. Don't want to include Google Chrome. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Not at the moment. So let's just download that and set that up in the background. And then I'll show you the webcam. We'll start up Skype. So it's Google Earth now, downloading and running in the background. And we go to Skype. So this was the version that was not pre-installed, but packaged with the device on screen, and I installed it. And let's get that started up. So log into that. Google Earth still installing in the background. And signing into Skype. So it's a 1.3 megapixel camera. There is, as we mentioned in the last session, is a some sort of conferencing enabler that I don't know what it does, whether it does something in hardware or software to improve the picture quality from the camera. I don't know. Let's first log into Skype, so it takes a little while. What I will do is I'll just get the camera up. The Acer Crystalmark webcam application, and show you what resolutions it supports. Come on. Am I doing too much? So here's the webcam, just starting up now, and I think it's at 640 by 480 resolution. It's really actually not bad at all. Really quick to respond. Google Earth complaining about the resolution. Oh, that's running in the background as well. And resolutions go up to 1280 by 1024 on the camera. But the quality of it is really quite nice. So Google Earth starting, Skype signing in, and yeah, nice. Google Earth, really nice and smooth. Like it. So it's not just games that get benefit from 3D graphics, of course. Things like even iTunes cover flow. Google Earth is one of the better examples of something that will use 3D graphics. We can go. Can we just pull it down here? Yeah, it's cool. Google Earth working really nicely there. So let's close that one off. Skype's still signing in. Don't know why. While it's doing that then, let's get a couple of tests going. And the first one I want to do is Crystalmark. I shouldn't really do that while Skype's trying to log in. I couldn't log in. So let's quickly run Crystalmark. The final result on Crystalmark is 34,000, which when you compare it to netbooks of 5 or 6 years ago, I'll just let that run through. It's just starting up now, I think. There we go. Right, just let that run through. Remember, we're on battery, balanced mode. So just let that run through. It takes a few minutes. So the total score was 35k, which is very, very similar to the Acer CPC 1015PN. But you'll see that the OpenGL graphics on this is faster than the Ion 2 graphics, but the N550 beats it in CPU. I also saw on the 1015B, which is the fusion version of the 1015 from Acer, a really, really fast disk score. Now what I'm hoping is that the controller and the bus are really going to help, or are going to take advantage of installing an SSD in this. If it does, it's going to make a huge, huge amount of difference. I'm just hoping that the Toshiba drive that they've put in this is just a cheap drive, and that it could really, really, really be boosted by an SSD. I hope that's going to be the case. I've got an SSD to put in it, so bum ba dum bum bum. So someone's saying DUW saying he wants this to replace his U820. That's interesting because my U820 has been. I have a couple of desktops. I have this desktop down here, which is my video kind of workstation, and then I have my desktop upstairs, which I do my writing on, and that was running on a U820 for a year. But I think I could quite easily use the 522 as my desktop now. Bear in mind I don't do crazy stuff on it, but performance on this is way better than the U820. So let's just flick back to those scores, have a look, see what's going on. Just zoom in for you there. So we have 7,000 on the CPU, 6060 on the FPU. Sorry, ALU is 7011. That would be about 10,000 on the N550, I believe. Memory speeds there. And here come the hard disk speeds, and you'll see maximum read speed of 55 megabytes a second. I don't think that's very fast at all for a hard drive. That sequential read should be up there at 70 or 80 megabytes per second. And then if you look at the random reads at 512K, 28 megabytes a second, that's also not that impressive. And then the random reads at 64K go right the way down to 6 megabits per second, so megabytes per second, I'm sorry. Right, it's now doing 3D testing. 2D testing, sorry. So we'll let that run through. Is there anything else I need to mention? We'll stop this part of the recording at the end of the Crystalmark test, and then outside the recordings we'll do some more testing, and we're going to do game test as well. So yeah, I wanted to compare this really with the 1015B, which will come out from Acer, Asus EPC 1015B is the 1015 with, it's the seashell design with the Brazos platform, Fusion, Ontario CPU, APU. Too many names, AMD. So that'll be interesting to compare the speeds on that one. The Crystalmark test on that one came in a bit higher than what we're seeing on this one here. No, I have no major issues. I have some notes, and I'm going to quickly run through those now. So this is after 24 hours of using the device. Fan on all the time, but quiet. I mentioned that. No major heat. No extended display. So this is a Windows 7 starter issue. HDMI out works up to 1920 by 1080. Excuse me. I suspect the disk is slow. We just mentioned that. It's a Toshiba SATA drive. Single mono speaker. You might want to bear that in mind. The SD card is a flush fit. Actually, it's not quite flush. It's about 1 millimeter that sticks out, but it won't affect, I don't think, putting it into any sort of case or anything, so that'd be quite nice. USB ports are USB 2. Bluetooth supports high-speed transfer, which is the Wi-Fi component of Bluetooth, where it does the handshaking over Bluetooth and then pulls in the Wi-Fi to do the high-speed data transfer. And that's all the notes I've got on it at the moment. No showstoppers. Good battery life, reasonable build quality, good looks, and price of $299. I think this is turning out to be quite a good purchase for anyone that wants to upgrade a netbook but stay within the 10-inch screen range with the 720p screen resolution. It really adds to the value as well. So I can only say well done at this stage, Asus. More testing carrying on, of course, and don't get too excited. The C50, although it's more powerful than the single-core Atom devices, and it includes GPU power as well, it's not up there with a laptop that might only cost €300 more and add maybe 200 or 300 grams to the weight. But it's a really nicely balanced system. And if you look at this now and you think, okay, last year Intel should have been at this sort of platform. When they introduced the N550 on stage at Computex last year, was it Computex? They said, yes, this is going to enable 720p, and you don't just add another CPU in to do HD decoding. You do that in hardware, and I was really disappointed that they didn't add HD decoder to the netbook platform. I'm 100% sure that will happen in the next evolution of the netbook platform, the Cedar Trail platform, which is due later this year. But I keep my fingers crossed that they throw in a whole load of 3D performance improvements as well. They could have some edge on AMD in terms of battery life savings, maybe, but it's really cutting the line fine now. Wireless display might be in there as well, which is one thing which could be quite nice from Intel. So you can put a WiDi adapter on your screen and get 720p going across wirelessly. Also wireless audio, and maybe things like Intel Insider, which is the trusted channel for video distribution. Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine would happen in the netbook platform to give it a little bit of a unique selling point. But that's all. Let's just go back to the test. It's just finishing off right now, and the overall score there on battery power, 34,953. Totally respectable, and the scores really spread out nicely there. If I've used Crystalmark for 5 years now. The first Crystalmark test I did was on an AMD device. It was the Geode processor, the LX500, running at 600 megahertz, I believe. Had terrible 3D performance, in fact, nothing. Total score was about 10,000. Total score was about 10,000. Here we're seeing 35,000 under battery power. So really good, not bad at all. So that's it for this part of the recording. In fact, this is part 3 and the last part we're recording the live session tonight. We're carrying on after this recording is finished. So thanks for watching. If you're watching on Ustream or YouTube, check out uembassyportal.com for more on the Acer Aspire 522. Testing continues this week, and a full review will be out probably within a couple of weeks. But I want to really get scripts with the Fusion platform and do that review well before I put the full review out. Thanks for watching. My name's Chippy, at Chippy on Twitter, and catch you on the next live